Hey guys, Cruz here, and welcome to this video where we're gonna look at something I've never done before. Full-on ranged undead. The new balance patch just dropped, and one of the things it did was to reduce the cost of all the dragons by 25 points, which means the Bone Dragon is now just 5 points more expensive than the Dread Knight retinue. So let's try to make it work. For fun, I really leaned into the range damage, so I picked Cruelty on the Vampire, because that synergizes pretty well with Shadow Bolt. And then, of course, I went with Reanimate and Raise Dead, the classics, but also Hex of Ruin, because Hex of Ruin is really good with Skeleton Spears, and maybe I can also use it to do some crazy range damage. So let's jump into Game 1. This game I'm against Moon Hunter, who's playing a new Empire list, which is pretty cool. He's leaning into the extra cavalry and actually not going for the Dreadnought. So this is probably the first Empire list I've played in months, or played against in months, that doesn't have a Dreadnought, which is pretty cool. Now I started off with trying to shoot down some of those knights up in the left corner, because I'm thinking the key to victory here is to make sure that those knights go down. I carefully move my spearmen forward, and the reasoning for that is that I don't want to get flanked by the cavalry on the right, which I assume is going to be the last thing he moves. Now, playing undead is a lot of like shuffling your troops around, trying not to get flanked, and hoping you win by attrition. As you're watching this, be aware, it's been a while since I played Undead, so for me, I knew that this game I really did not want him to assassinate my Necromancer. And as you can see, he moves forward using his ranged. Maybe he has a ranged advantage, I don't know. After all, I can raise my dead, he cannot. And here I do a mistake. I move my bats over there. And he has first charge, and now I could flank his knights, but sadly, because I moved my bats too early, he could put his captain there to intercept. I didn't find a good angle to intercept his captain on the griffin with, so I just decided to go along with my original plan to shoot down and see if I can kill those knights on the left side with the dragon. He immediately charges my bats, which means his knight commander is going to be able to go straight into my necromancer, which is not good. And because I didn't think of the fact that his griffin could get to my bats, I placed them somewhere where they will flee off the map. So ideally, if something charges your bats, you want to flee with them, because the bats can flee. Anyways, it's not over yet, but I did make the game a lot harder for me. I managed to get onto the objective on the left side. I managed to find a target for the catapult. I rolled not so great, but you know, every foot knight that goes down is a good thing. But my opponent also has a lot of range pressure, and would I roll like that? Well, starting to look a bit grim. I roll a very bad reanimate roll there. And I have to choose if I want to hex or raise dead. I decide to hex because it's a more powerful spell, and if I can kill some knights, that'll be good. And he has gone. Great weapon on those knights, so it's they're a bit squishier than normal. Of course, they still have bodyguard. I decided to put my wolves there, hoping that the cavalry can't get to them, or if they can get to them, that they'll get to them in an angle where I can flee. And he decides to shoot the spearman. My bats take one hell of a beating, but they do some wounds, which is a bit lucky for me. And over on the left side, you can see the dragon is making short work out of these knights. Excellent. Somehow, My Necromancer survives the onslaught. I get 10 hits and he does only 1 save, which is incredibly lucky for me, and then he fails his discipline roll. So with some good luck I am able to chase off his commander. So, you know, sometimes you can do mistakes, and if you're lucky, you get lucky and can win anyways. So the Griffin is very low, so I charge my Spearman into it. Quite pleased about that. And his Foot Knights are charging my Skeleton Spears. Now, one downside of fleeing from cavalry, of course, is that cavalry, or at least Imperial cavalry, has a lot of guns, so they can whittle you down. Dragon takes 2 wounds. Luckily, I can whittle him down with my catapult. And of course, he rolls like a champ. So you can see all my alive things are fleeing for all they're worth. Now here I'm really wondering, where do I hex? Do I hex on the left, hoping to win the fight there? Or do I want to hex the Griffin? Now the Griffin is, if I remember correctly, only at 1 life, so I'm like, that Griffin is gonna go down. Like, there's no way. So I decide to raise dead to keep my presence over on the right. And because the dragon is so mobile, I see a chance to go into the back of the Foot Knights there, so I can win that. If I'm lucky, I can also use the ranged pressure I have to kill off the Knight Commander. I don't know why I remanted on the dragon there. Maybe I thought I was lower in life than I actually was. Here, I lose hard. And the Necromancer somehow is still alive. Oh, right, there was 2 hit points left on the... or 2 wounds, sorry, on the Griffin. But still, it's gonna go down. Over on this side, I lose. And there, you see that? The objective flickered there, which is a bug that sometimes happens with Dead Nations units. Quite frustrating. The cavalry keeps chasing after the wolves, and I'm not entirely too pleased with how this game is playing out, but as long as the Griffin with the captain on dies, all is good. And there's 7 attacks, so should be around 3 hits. Should be okay. Wolves keep getting hunted, but at least they do rally, and they're safe from the mortar. Now at this point I'm thinking that the left flank is probably completely dead, but I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to kill the Griffin without the use of hex, so I hex on the left flank. Over here the dragon should wipe out these Foot Knights. And I do win, but they hold. So I just don't do enough damage. And of course, with 5 hits and the Griffin holding, this is kind of the worst case scenario, because now I'm not winning either side. So he has the objective because the Bone Dragon is flying. And that is problematic when it's netting him points every turn. So now he's 100 points up. 50 of them he got because of a bug. And my Necromancer finally went down. So he moves his Mortar onto the objective to contest it, and he keeps his Knight Commander out of combat, which is not the worst idea. He did charge my catapult with his cavalry. I move my wolves up to chase him off. And the dragon and knight fail at winning that combat, so he's still stuck in combat, which is even worse. Luckily, at least, the griffin goes now. And somehow, the skeletons are managing to draw over on the left side, and in this combat, he does 3 wounds, and the catapult crumbles. So now I'm like a bit annoyed here, because this game shouldn't be a loss. I feel like I could have played this better. I could have had the griffin die earlier. The objective on the right could have been mine. Instead, he's netting now 150 points from the objective, and I'm not going to be able to take it back either. So my gamble on being like, nah, I'll just keep one objective, or try to win the objective on the left with Hex, turned out to be a pretty bad decision. If I had hexed the griffin and gotten these skeletons out 2 turns earlier, then I would have had a way to regain the central objective. And here, you can see the wolves, they do their job. They manage to chase away the cavalry. All is good. He charges the wolves. I decide to flee them, because if I get lucky, I can kill him with the dragon, because, you know, it's still there, even though it can't take the objective. And if maybe I have enough points left that I can, like, compared to his army, do manage to take him out. So now it's just about the points. These foot knights die, and then I rolled 5 misses and lose. And what did I learn this game? That the dragon cannot take objectives, and that shadow bolts without cruelty is kind of crap. Alright, but that was game 1, and it's a new list. Mistakes happen. Let's get into the next one. Alright, looks like dwarves with a lot of ranged. The most important thing against dwarves with a lot of ranged is to not let them shoot your valuable units, which in this case would be the dragon, the bats, and the dogs. Looks like he's trying to get an angle to shoot the bats. There is enough of a gap there. Okay, well, hopefully he's... Oh, he managed to get a gap with the guy as well. Oh, but I get lucky. At least 1 bat lives. It's not the end of the world. It's unfortunate that he could do that and stay out of charge range of my skeletons though. Oh shit, did I move my skeletons forward not well enough to... oh yeah, I messed up the angle, so now we can shoot me with the cannon. But a 3, of course, again, but I'm gonna save at least 1, right? No, okay. Alright, but nothing else. I guess the Rangers could also get into position. Alright, game 3, this time against Zach on Goatman. It's the classic. Now you can see I've deployed a few of my units a bit crooked. That's because against Goatman, if you are crookedly deployed, you avoid getting locked in by the chariots, because the chariots can like just run up and get to you. Now I'm wondering what to do with the range pressure against there, and I decide to chuck my catapult onto the unit of the shaman, hoping to be able to break through there. It's going to be quite congested in the middle here, because it's a map with a lot of terrain. So I'm doing my best to set up in a manner where I can get the favorable fights, basically. Now I decide to raise dead on Spearman to the right, because I'm thinking they're probably going to get charged by the mongrels he has on the side there. The bats I am just putting back. I'm not worried about them because I have a goddamn dragon on my side. Now, you might have noticed that the bottom of the screen isn't always showing, and I don't know why OBS decided to cut it out, but I fixed it, so but not for this video. Now you can see I'm feeling very sneaky. Roll really poorly with the dragon, but I still pick off 2 more. And with Cruelty Shadow Bolt, I pick up 3 more. Look at the ranged power of the undead, huh? Are you not entertained? I am. I was having a great time rolling so well. Now the question is, who do I charge into these mongrels? Now I decided to send my Necromancer in there. He decides to charge his guys into my Spearmen. And the charges come in. And the charges happen in completely an unexpected order. Like, why I charged first with my spears. So I expected that charge to go first. So that means I don't know how the rules of for charging work anymore, because it used to be in order of charges. In any case, I hex his Goatman Warriors. He Primal Furies them. Let's see how it pans out. He tries his best to hide from the catapult, but since he is stuck out in the open, he takes another giant rock to the face, and I'm really feeling the ranged power of this list right now. Now this turn 2, I have second move, which is very nice, especially when you have 2 flyers as the last 2 moves to go. So I just slowly put myself into position to get some fights, and hopefully I'll cut through enough Goatmen to win the game before he just runs away with the game because he has the objective. I place my bats in order to charge the shaman. And I'm very curious what I'm gonna do. I end up using fire breath onto the shaman, but he rolls really well. And then I'm very unsure what I want to target. I decide to Shadow Bolt the wolves. Which, you know, it's fine. Now he no longer has rank bonus there. But I do wonder if I should have chugged that Shadow Bolt onto the Harpies instead. Alright, I lose the fight hard, but a couple of skeletons are still standing. Here I roll really well and chase him off the map. Wolves are amazing. Chewing up Goatman Raider chariots like they're nothing. Now in this phase I get the flank onto the shaman, and I get the flank onto the longhorn. He's just sort of running out of units to do the killing there. Does charge his chariot into my wolves. Really considered for a long time if I wanted to just let him do that, because I believed in my wolves again. But in the end I decide to send in as guys, and I decide not to charge the Harpies, because I'm thinking he's just going to run away with them, and then I get side charged by a bunch of dogs. I do find a slim opening and I pick off another pair of dogs. I'm very happy about that. And my opponent knows that a lot of ranged damage is coming his way very soon. With full-on flank and 2 skelly stills in the front, hex seems like the good thing. My opponent pops Warcry for that extra power to really chew through the poor skellies. Should be at power 6 there. This chariot does rally. I'm just passing, and he has put his Harpies into the bushes, hoping I won't be able to get to him. And that is a pretty good thought, because I wasn't able to. So instead the dogs get the full brunt, but sadly I am not able to finish them off. And one dog is almost as dangerous as 8 dogs. So. Now in the battle against skeletons and goatmen, those 2 skellies in the front take a lot of damage, but I do win the battle. And now it's only the Goatman Longhorn left. Luckily, able to scare off the shaman, so I don't have to worry about him casting Blood Frenzy on things. Not that he has that many units left to frenzy. And over here, skeletons and wolves chase off the chariot. And it looks like it's just going to be a conga line of chariots getting run off the board by the wolves over there. Now, my bats get flanked, but a dragon is quite small, so I managed to intercept his harpies with the dragon, which I'm quite pleased about. To be fair, I guess I could have intercepted something else as well. The catapult would have gone down, but then the necromancer would have chased those harpies off the maps. But I let the bats get flanked because I believed in their ability to take out one dog. And if you can't believe in bats, then who can you believe in, huh? Necromancer moving back towards the middle. And you know, you can see my opponent is raking up points. Like, I might be winning the battle, but is he gonna steal the game? Longhorn versus 25 skellies. Barely goes down. Just Longhorn things. My bats do lose, but they also turn. And the wolves clean up the chariot. So all I need now to have a secured win is for the dragon and vampire knight to do their job, and winning by 5, they get rid of those harpies. I mean, technically they stay on the map, but I should be able to clean that up easily. So even though my opponent is getting a lot of objective points, he can see the writing on the wall and he surrenders. So, in the end, my verdict: is the Bone Dragon list actually any good? I actually think the list has a lot of potential. Like, the range pressure, you could see it actually work. And the mobility of the Bone Dragon is really good, but you have to protect it. And I actually struggled a lot in several of the games I played with not having the ground forces to actually take and hold the objectives. Now, I do think the list will be better if you give up cruelty and take True Strike instead, and don't pick Shadow Bolt to synergize with cruelty on the Vampire Knight. But that's a lot of the fun, though, to just do something so silly and just pick stuff up. So I do think if you go for just Unholy Vigor, True Strike, it's going to be a better list. But I also think just staying with the normal cookie cutter build is probably the better undead list for now. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.